From 2016, Dan Andrews' legislation to let people choose their sex on their birth certificate makes same-sex marriage moot. Conroy represents a right branch of the ALP, but that is not right-wing. Neither is it conservative. He is leaving his fantasy land and returning to family. I wish him well. Those who feel Islam represent them and is codified by terror, I hold in contempt. Turnbull should not involve himself in gender politics. It looks like pork barreling. Obama reinitiated the Cold War to solve his policy vacuum regarding foreign policy. Russia's activity is Obama's fault. CNN caught promoting Hillary by lying. I stand opposed to apartheid. I always will. From 2015. Journalist Latika Bourke was writing about the 2009 Liberal leadership spill and made the erroneous claim that Mr Abbott had knifed Mr Turnbull to get the leadership. That is not what happened. Bad leadership by Turnbull had meant that Rudd's proposed ETS was inevitable. It was a tax on carbon dioxide which paid for nothing and would be an impost on business and homes. As a banker, Turnbull was comfortable with a tax. Hockey had support to campaign within the party on the issue of opposing the ETS. Turnbull called for a spill motion to unite the party. Hockey tanked and said the issue of global warming was a moral one. Mr Abbott stood up on platform opposing an ETS. Hockey claimed to have negotiated to run for the leadership unopposed, but Turnbull stood up too. The global warming believers split their votes and Abbott won. Abbott had not knifed Turnbull, but had stood up only after a spill. On the other hand, Turnbull white-anted Howard and Abbott and cruelled the elections of the Liberal National Party in Queensland, South Australia, Victoria and Australia. Latika, writing for the Sydney Morning Herald, likes division among conservatives. The cruel falsehood is meant to confuse those who don't know. Latika backtracked and later claimed that Turnbull was knifed by the right of the Liberal Party. In fact, it would be right to replace him and boot him from the party for treachery. Now that Turnbull is no longer undermining the Libs, Canning looks to be in the good hands of Mr Hastie. An improved educational curriculum has been released. For some, at the moment, the sex party has more credibility. And just to add, I wrote on Facebook to Latika Bourke, it is wrong to claim Abbott knifed Turnbull in 2009. Abbott only campaigned after the spill. Abbott was scrupulous and made the point of it at the time. Latika replied, the right absolutely knifed Malcolm and installed their candidate, Tony Abbott. I was there and I remember it very well. So I wrote back, then you would remember that Abbott did not run until after the spill when Hockey dithered over global warming and threatened to not give a choice to members who opposed AGW. Hysteria. Abbott did not knife Turnbull then, but stood up after the spill so as to provide an alternative. His position then was honourable. I got no reply from Latika to that.